So recently, there has been a story, an incident that happened in our community that has been told around Winnipeg, around the city. Many of you may know it. So recently, there was an attack on a dog in our community. A young man had stabbed a dog in a back alley. And I got the story from a contact of mine. Somebody sent it to me, and they said, "Do we know this guy?" And so I saw the picture, and sure enough, Alex. Definitely know Alex. We know Alex here at Inner City. I've gotten to know him over the last year or so, and after reading some of the stories and some of the on this incident, my heart sank. First of all, to hear that this happened, that Alex did this. Secondly, and maybe for me more profoundly, to hear and to sense the outcry against him. Alex, our friend, who is being portrayed almost as a monster. And so that was really hard to see, because I know many of us here at Inner City know a very different side of Alex. And we've been talking about this here a little bit over the last week, just kind of processing together, talking about what happened and talking about our friend Alex. And we wanted to share a bit of the bigger story, maybe the other side of the story. So the purpose of this video is not to justify what happened, because what happened is wrong. We're not justifying what happened. But whenever a story is told, it's always told from a perspective. And we wanted to widen the lens of the story. We wanted to share a bigger picture of what's going on here. So this is us contributing to this story that's been out in the public. So Alex, we got to know over a year ago. My coworker Harvey and I connected with him at the Manitoba Youth Center. He reached out. He reached out specifically to us because he wanted to do life differently when he got out. And so we said, yeah, that's great. We want you to as well. And once he got out, he reached out to us at Inner City Youth Alive and started coming to our building, started getting involved. We quickly found out that he has a beautiful gift of art, of drawing, artistic expression, and it's something that he's done a lot of. So we asked him if he'd be willing to do a mural for us, and he was excited to do that, and so he did a mural for us in response to the meth crisis in our community. It was something that he saw and he felt deeply when he got out of jail, that this is a problem, and his heart sank for his family, for his friends out here, and he did a very heartfelt, expressive mural to communicate the struggle that meth is for so many people. Alex connected with us regularly. We were able to get to know him, get to know more of his story. He also had a desire to reconnect with his family. His family he'd been disconnected from them for years, and he started to reconnect with his sister, and that was a good thing. He was trying to get together his siblings who he hadn't seen in a long time, and he was working to make a family gathering happen. He wanted to reconnect, and it was good. It was good. Fast forward to this year, I got a chance to go visit Alex after he was arrested for this incident with the dog. And I got to see a little more to the story as well in the last month. So 1 month ago, 1 month previous to this incident, he had been released from jail. The plan was to go live with a family member, and he was going to go stay with them. Within 2 hours of being released from jail, he found out that this family member was not able to let him stay there as previously thought. So he's homeless, back on the street. After a week of struggling on the street, he starts coping, going back to drinking again. It's a struggle of his. And he knows when he drinks, some things can happen. He does things that he otherwise wouldn't. In that time back on the street, homeless, couch surfing, going from one place to the next, he gets connected again with some people that maybe aren't the best for him. He gets into some fights on the street. He had his head chopped with a machete. I saw 5 staples in his head when I went and visited him. He had a concussion. He had a seizure. He was in the hospital, in and out. He was alone in a lot of ways. Alone. He came by inner city. He came by here to connect with us. He was reaching out. He came by twice to try to connect with some of the staff that he knows. And it didn't work. We weren't around at the time. We tried to track him down. We couldn't. He's homeless. It's hard to find him. He was reaching out. Alex does not feel good about himself. He is not proud of what he did. In some ways, he shared with me that he's really struggling even with knowing if he wants to live or not. He experienced also some pretty hard racism when he went into jail as well. People aren't treating him well there because of what's the story out there in the city right now. I don't want to get into the details of what was said, but he wasn't treated very well. Wasn't treated like a human. We believe in Alex. We believe in Alex. And it's so hard to see the public sense or public discourse that is so quick to condemn our friend Alex. And once again, we're not justifying what he did, but we want to encourage all of us to consider the reality that there's always more to the story.